If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you. If you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you. Find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Well, that was Count on Me by Bruno Mars, which happens to be the favorite song of my next guest, Atul Kumar, who is the CEO at Hyqoo. Now, Atul is based out of New York, and he and I are going to be having a conversation around the future of talent acquisition and the future of HR tech. So, join us in this conversation. Good morning, Atul. It's great to have you on my the Future of HR Tech series.
Good morning, Thomas. Yeah, great.
Yeah. So how's the weather looking like in New York today?
Well, today it is good. Today
Okay,
it is
man.
good. It has been really hot for last 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
At in upper 90s, but yeah, today the temperature is good.
Yeah. Wonderful. And so thanks really, Atul, for your time. And today I hope to have a great conversation with you around, the entire concept of how the war for talent is impacting, talent acquisition, talent management, and so on. And you running a very a startup, but you've been in, I think, for a significant part of your career in staffing and so on. So there's a lot of talent acquisition work that you've done. But I thought, let me just set some little bit of a background here. So clearly, I think what's also happening, Atul, is that I think what we are also seeing is some kind of a trend where a lot of organizations are transforming, and they're perhaps they look and feel, in the coming years will be very different from what they were in the past. So just to give some examples, we are seeing a lot of digital first retail companies, right, who said we will only be digital first. Now, suddenly with the opening up of the economy and with people wanting to travel and meet and shop, they're saying, hey, we also would like to have physical retail stores. So, so change in the business model happening there. Likewise, I'm also seeing some edtech companies which were digital first, and now they're saying we also want to have like a brick and mortar presence, right? We have telecom companies which are saying that they want to be in the media space. There are oil companies which are getting into solar and hydrogen and so on, right? And you have car companies getting into EVs, batteries, and whatever you. Likewise, if you look at the employee side now, there is a fair amount of attrition that's happening, fairly high burnout rates. I was just listening to a video show short while ago when they spoke about worldwide 52% burnout rates, across organizations. A lot of employees are saying they want to do multiple jobs at the same time, right? There's also the gig force, which is also emerging. So there's plenty of organizational transformation that needs to happen when all these changes are happening. And therefore, how do you acquire the right kind of talent with the right skills for the specific roles? How do you reskill your employees? How do you upskill your employees? And so it'll be really great to hear your perspective on this, and also how is also specifically about what is the problem that Hyqoo is actually hoping to solve.
Yeah, as you rightly mentioned that, right, this very interesting time, right? Many organizations are going through significant transformation, especially
Yes.
on the digital front of it, right? And the way I see this is that, you know what, like companies have access to millions of talent through
Right.
hundreds of job boards across the
Yeah.
globe.
Right.
Right? They are spending significant amount of dollars also in recruiting
Right.
systems and services. Yet, whenever you are talking to any hiring managers, their problem is I'm not able to find the right talent to
Right.
fill their right role at the right time. So
Sure.
what's the issue? Is that issue about the quantity or the issue is about the quality, right? I don't think so. Company need more talent or bunch of resumes, right? They need the right talent to
Correct.
fill their roles at the right time.
Correct.
And that is what Hyqoo is solving, right? Hyqoo is a talent as a service platform where we bring highly skilled global on-demand talent to our clients. And interestingly, if you see in last 3 years, right,
Right.
the effect of pandemic has forced organization to even further accelerate their digital transformation initiatives. And
Correct.
in order to stay competitive, uh, organizations, they have to hire better and faster than ever before, right?
Correct.
And that's what we are doing. We are helping organizations to build their on-demand digital team through our talent platform.
Yeah. So Atul, are you in a niche space? Are you typically hiring specific project teams, or are you hiring individual talent? Because I'm just trying to differentiate your offering from the various RPOs that are in the market. There are lots of job boards which are also transforming into more customer-facing organizations rather than just being, being a database of CVs. Uh, there are talent acquisition platforms, staffing firms. Now there are a whole set of people out there, right? So I'm just trying to understand a little more in terms of your sweet spot and how are you differentiating yourself?
Yeah, so we bring digital talent, right? And we are helping organizations to build their digital team, right?
Right.
So we have this whole curated talent network on our platform from more than 30 countries in 5 continents.
Yeah.
We can help team to ramp up to 100 positions or roles within days, right? And meeting their demand at scale.
Right.
Uh, so our focus is on data side of it, product engineering, software engineering, uh, cloud engineering, right? So that's where we focus, right? So we truly focus on the digital aspects. We do bring borderless talent, right? As we know, there is you mentioned
Yeah.
war of talent. There
Yeah.
is a limited pool of qualified talent, right?
Sure.
So our focus is not to dump bunch of resumes
Yeah.
to our client, rather than we bring a fully vetted, curated talent, right?
Yeah.
Who are not only qualified but also engaged. And engaged means they are interested in that particular role. So we do all the heavy lifting for our
Right.
client, and we bring it. So we are truly global in nature, right? As second thing is that our we started with being truly digital. Our platform, when we built, right, it
Right.
is not only AI based, fully automated, also where we match the roles with the right individuals from our network. We do then 100% screening, whether it is on the technical aspects of it, whether it is on their personality, the communication as part of the process, and then we
Yeah.
present the talent, right?
Right.
But the most important part is, right, I think I always say is that humans are hiring humans, right?
Right.
Humans are not hiring bots, or bots are not hiring humans. So
Correct.
there needs to be a very hyper personalized approach, whether it is for client and whether it is for our talent. And
Right.
that's the promise of a Hyqoo platform. We do that, and we do get compliment on that aspect a lot from our talent as well as from our
Yeah.
clients.
So are these resources on your roles? Would they continue to be on your roles, or would they be on the client's roles?
No, so they are they are on our platform, they are on our roles, right? And they are basically what we call talent on demand.
Okay.
So they work for our client projects for certain period of time. And as that assignment or engagement is over,
Right.
we deploy those talents to some other projects.
Yeah. Yeah, I quite understand. So now moving from Hyqoo to a little more generic discussion, I thought I could just have with you. Now, I just wanted to really pick your brain on what should be really uh, the actual hiring playbook of for tech resources for organizations. Given these changes, there is escalating salaries, high attrition, employees wanting to work from anywhere, not wanting to come in, into the offices. Right during the pandemic, many people shifted to their home locations, and they quite like it there, so they prefer to work from there. It gives them a lot more flexibility to perhaps even sunlight or moonlight, as people actually call it, right? So given some of these challenges and varying attrition rates, what is your guidance for organizations, in terms of what should be their playbook as far as tech hiring is concerned?
Well, from my perspective, you think I would say that adaptable approach to workforce model is the key today.
Yeah.
In this era of rapidly changing technology, the demographic
Right.
shift, or even the economics uncertainty,
Right.
enterprises can create a competitive advantage, right?
Yeah.
By embracing more flexible blended workforce model,
Right.
where they can expand or contract their strategic or generalized or specialized skill set across the globe, right? So I would say that each and every organization, given what is going in the market, they need to have much more flexible blended workforce model, right?
Right.
Uh, and that's how they can gain advantage.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on to another area where there's been a lot of discussion, and I was reading just earlier today a very interesting report published by Josh Bersin, where they really talk about hiring more to grow, versus designing your organization better for growth, right? So I think the thought is that in the yesteryears, where there was plenty of talent, a lot of companies went on a hiring spree, and they linked resources that they could get on board to the kind of growth that they could get. But I think today, in a scenario where there is a shortage of talent, number one, and b, where people are trying to contract their cost structures as well, I think there's a lot of focus on how do you redesign organization processes. And interestingly, the report also says that over 50% of organization enterprises in a market like the US, which is fairly mature and fairly sophisticated, are taking a rather, what they call an ad hoc or a haphazard approach, or at best, something which is more traditional, which is highly siloed departments, not really thinking out of the box, thinking for today, and so on. And there are perhaps only about 10% of organizations which are really what they call as agile. So imagine the situation in markets outside of the US, where companies which are not so mature. So just to give an example, and this is something that I face all the time when I talk to when I meet a lot of organization leaders. If I really look at, let's say, sales organizations as an example, today you have companies which are focusing on SMB, mid-market, enterprise. So they have similar products which are appealing to multiple segments, and they're struggling with profile of salespeople who should work on these different segments. What should be the sales process for these different segments? What should be the role that marketing plays? Can marketing actually carry revenue to drive numbers in a particular segment? So I think there's a lot of focus, and I think people are struggling to actually redesign processes, redesign work as it should be, and therefore even redesign the sales organization. And in your part of the world, where you're providing manpower to the technology side of business, which is more product and services and support, for instance, I mean, this could be far more complex, right? So what is your take on this entire concept of hiring for growth versus organization redesign for growth, which is something which is a reality which is now hitting people on their face?
Yeah, I don't think so. These are two separate points, right? Means
Yeah,
organization redesign for growth
yeah,
is not a one-time event, right?
yes,
Uh, uh, Given the market condition,
yeah,
organizations need to be agile enough to
right,
read and adapt to the market feedback, right?
yes,
And they
yes,
have to continuously fine tune their talent strategy, continuously fine
yeah,
tune their hiring strategy,
yes,
depending on that, right? So
right,
personally, I feel that it's not like you do once organization design for growth
yes,
and
yes,
then forget about it, right?
yeah, yeah,
It
absolutely.
it's a continuous process.
Yeah, no, I think it's an evolving process, and I think you did mention that you're hiring 15 salespeople in your organization. So I guess there is some serious thinking that you probably also have to do in terms of what their roles will be and how who will support whom and so on.
Exactly. Yeah, that's so
Right.
true.
Yeah. So moving on further is another exciting topic which I've seen, which is this entire thing around internal mobility of employees and talent acquisition. So historically, we've had several tech platforms out there which have been focused around talent acquisition, right? Which do the classical taking CVs and parsing and matching ranking and interviewing and shortlisting and so on and so forth. And another set of technologies which were there to look at your talent within the organization and understand their skills and figure out, what kind of career pathways would really fit in. But I think today we are seeing a merger of that, and a lot of organizations in one space have moved into the other. And I would not be surprised if learning also becomes integrated into this, right? Because I think this will really help companies become far more agile when it comes to building their cross-border teams, or on projects. It'll probably help them even make enhance the employee stickiness to them. So would external hiring therefore become more and more entry level? I mean, there will be attrition at different levels, but I just wanted to get your thought around how, because I also heard a statistic that a lot of companies will do 50% internal hiring as opposed to what it was being done before. I'm assuming if they are able to control the overall attrition that's happening. So, what's your take in terms of how external hiring is likely to evolve? Given a lot of focus on this internal mobility as well.
Yeah, I think definitely there is an advantage of internal mobility or internal hiring, right? For sure.
Yeah.
But there are few points to keep in mind, right? One, and we always talk, and in this also we spoke earlier, that this whole rapidly evolving technology
Right.
is shortening the relevance of skills.
Right.
All right.
Absolutely.
Which leads to more frequent need of reskilling yourself, upskilling your talent workforce, and so on and so forth, right?
Right.
Digital transformation in initiatives has increased the demand for higher skilled talent, right?
Right.
Which we know there is a limited pool of those highly qualified talent in each geography, right?
Right.
Uh, if you're looking for a full stack engineer in New York, there is a defined pool, right?
Right.
Uh,
Okay.
so so I would say that external talent acquisition will stay relevant for any organization, right?
Right.
For the organizations, for themselves to stay relevant to their customers and be competitive in market.
Yeah.
And we are seeing that trend that they are engaging talent platforms like Hyqoo, which brings significant value to them by opening up the borderless talent pool
Right.
of highly qualified talent, right? And this will continue to evolve. This will continue to grow. So I would say that this will go hand in hand, that internal
Yeah.
mobility and external talent acquisition strategy for
Right.
any organization.
Right. Right. No, I think so. I think that makes sense. And finally, really more personal question, Atul, you've been a digital entrepreneur, and now, of course, I think every entrepreneur has to have a digital mindset, right? Because most businesses have a digital angle to it. But what are some guidance and tips that you would give to a digital entrepreneur who's wanting to start off, who's a digital first entrepreneur? Yes.
I want to correct you here. I'm still in elementary school of digital entrepreneurship, right?
Okay.
I'm not at all digital entrepreneur,
Right,
I
right,
would
right.
call it, right? Uh, However, I think three things come to my mind, right? Which personally I follow, right? One
Yeah,
is that anyone, right, who is embarking on this journey is that believe in yourself, right? Means give your
right,
200%, and especially you have to be very hands-on, leading with examples.
right.
Uh, you can't that leadership quality needs to be there. Number one, right?
Correct,
Number two, this comes with a true learning or hard way of learning is that listen to market and
correct,
your
correct.
customer, right?
That's right.
And refine your strategy. You might be passionate about an idea, right?
Right,
That's how you started,
correct.
but you need to pivot your strategy based on what market is looking for, what your
Correct.
customers are asking for it, right?
That's right.
That's the second point. And third is that you need to be agile and swift.
Yeah,
Speed is the key, right? Means
yeah,
there are so many players, so many individuals who are there. You need to move fast. You need
yes,
to try out fast, fail fast, and
right.
then keep moving on it. So those are the three things I would say from
Yeah,
my perspective.
yeah. No, no, thanks so much for that. And the reason I asked you this question also was because I've been part of a book project called The Power of You, which is getting published by Routledge. There are 32 chapters, 32 people who've written one chapter each, and I've written a chapter on mastering the power of digital entrepreneurship. And I think these are some great tips and which we will keep in mind for the next edition of the book as well. Yeah. So
That's
yeah, so thanks so much, Atul. It was wonderful having this chat, and I'm sure it will inspire a lot of young entrepreneurs as well as organizations which are really looking at honing their entire talent acquisition strategy.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you. It was
Yeah,
great chatting with you. Hope to
thank you.
see you soon here.
Yeah,
Uh,
thanks. Yeah.